Hello gamers, and welcome back to Challenge of the Five Realms, where now we are beginning part 12 of a unknown number for this series, because I don't exactly know how high these numbers are going to go. Might get all the way to part 999, who knows. But for now, we're moving on to the next part. Now, at this point, we really don't know exactly where we should go next, because basically Kuvey just says, Grimnoth tricked us, your mother's spirit still roams, we must continue our search. So, we've already found her. Now, the next step, generally, is to bring Sir Valakor to her. But, I think before we do that, because it's a pretty big battle before we find Valakor, what we're gonna do is a little bit of exploration and party gathering. So, what we're going to do now is teleport straight up to the island of Jupiles, which is ruled by Emperor Kuvey Lyter. Castle Ventrax is home to the eccentric, self-proclaimed ruler of the island of Jupiles, Grand Exalted Royal Honored Emperor Kuvey Lyter. Though King Clessidor is the ruler of Alonia, Kuvey Lyter has rebelled against his authority and has claimed Jupiles as his own kingdom. So basically this guy rebelled against the king and said, hey, I'm not part of Alonia, I am my own man, and I'm gonna rule on this island away from Alonia. My father despised Kuvey Lyter, the leader of this island. The so-called emperor of this island is an enemy of all Alonia. Give the order, and I will drag him to Ballytogue to stand trial for treason. That's Glenwyn Ironbelt, loyal to the crown through and through. Alright, let's see who this is. Hello, good woman. This seems a singularly odd place. What can you tell me of Jupiles? Yes, Jupiles would seem odd to one from Alonia. Too many happy people here. That's why you're probably confused. The Grand Exalted Kuvey Lyter allows us the freedom to grow and learn. He even permits study of the mystic arts. Ah. So he took all the king's rules and said, you know what? I'm gonna make my own. Good man, good man. I know there's a way I can go in here. Ah, there we go. And you're just standing here all alone. Greetings, old woman. How do you find your life in Jupiles? I can't imagine life anywhere else. This beautiful island is a sanctuary for people like myself who practice magic. I am called Fenostra the Forgotten. When I lived in Fremont many years ago, I had another name, but I took this name in honor of my grandmother, who was a powerful sorcerer in her time, but is now rarely spoken of. I admire your honoring the memory of a family member. It is important to keep the old ways alive, young one. Do you have an interest in magic? Like many magicians, I collect objects that might be of use as spell components. I have, however, been a bit too aggressive in gathering tortoise shells. I have an extra one. Can you use it? Yes, sure, why not? And moving on. I talked to you already? Yeah, I already talked to you. But not you. Greetings, traveler. I'm looking for someone with an interest in magic, who wants to do a little bartering. I have a woman at the mead hall whom I fancy, but who has yet to warm to my considerable charms. I seek gifts to ply her with. Since trade was cut off with Alonia, silk has been a scarce item. I'd be willing to trade this homing pigeon, a fine bird in its own right, and with some use as a spell component, for a pair of silk stockings. I don't have silk stockings yet. I haven't had a chance to get to one of the towns that has them. Would you like to trade? Unfortunately, no. Okay, but think about it for a while. I'll be around if you change your mind. I will be back. Okay. Here we go. I can tell by the tense look on your face that you are not a native of Jupiles. Yes, I'm a stranger to this strange island. I can see how all this might seem odd to a visitor, but spend a week here, and you will learn that this is a special place. Grand Emperor Lyter founded Jupiles in his own image, making it a refuge for those seeking to escape Clissador's tyranny. Practitioners of magic, heretics, and sectarians, the weak, the strong, young and old, silly and grim, are all accepted here, provided they respect one another's differences. Sounds like a paradise. Take a look around you, my friend. Is the success of our way of life not evident in the happiness you see here? He does have a rather good point. Everybody looks happy. The towns in Alonia, I have seen nothing but hate, anger, poverty. Have you changed your mind? Silkstocking guy. Yeah, not quite yet. Unfortunately, I still do not have a pair of silk stockings. But we'll figure it out. Papava root. It's actually used for healing, I think. That's one thing it's good for. It's a narcotic root. Like morphine in our world. See, everybody's got such colorful clothing. The cut of your clothes marks you as being from the mainland. I hope your intentions are peaceful, but have a care. Kuvey Lyter, even at his age, is an excellent warrior, and his army, particularly the archers, are deadly fighters. You should register with Mandalisto at Castle Ventrax. Perhaps you people can help me. I'm an old sorceress with a problem. I used to be enough to keep my husband happy, but I'm not as pretty as I used to be. I suspect him of running after other women. Although King Clissador banned magic from the kingdom, a passion spell may be my only hope of keeping my husband faithful. The components for the spell include a box of candy, which I only have one of, silk stockings, and a rose. So desperate am I that I will give this fine ruby to you if you can provide me with the spell components and share the spell's secrets. Do you have the components? Are you willing to grant me this spell? I do not. So I need 2 pairs of silk stockings. I hope you'll reconsider. Should you possess the components, I would be interested in obtaining knowledge of the passion spell from you. In time. So silk stockings is something I really need. I believe that's the guy I just talked to. Yeah, okay. And the tavern. Always merry folk in taverns. You seem tired and troubled, friend. Aye, that I am, lad. I'm a potter. Most of what I make is sold to villages on the west coast of Alonia. Since the rumors of the Plague of Darkness began to spread, trade has all but stopped. Merchant sailors fear the sea now because most of them have been near enough to the world rim to see the edge void. Many of them believe that the world is vanishing into the void. They won't sail, so I can't sail, and I've been reduced to taking labor work where I can find it. Do not despair. I promise you things will improve. You say that as if you can do something about it. Come to think of it, maybe you can do something. I have this amethyst necklace I'm trying to sell. I bought it for my wife, but she died before I could give it to her. I feel wrong to sell it, but it is too painful to keep. You can see that it is beautiful. I'll let you have it for 45 gold pieces. Will you buy it? Yes, I will. I hope my wife forgives me for this. The amethyst is now mine. And let's see what she says. You look as though you could use some friends. A traveler like myself can always use a friend. Then you should remain in this hall. We are waiting for the meal to be served. After we have eaten, we will trade stories. If you know any, you would be welcome to tell them. I came to this island from Havenshire when my husband was killed by bandits years ago. I feel like I found a new family here. Hello, young man. I'm Glenbard Shortfall, proprietor of this meat hall. All are welcome, though I'd appreciate your not drawing any weapons in here. You'll find the people of Jupiles to be good-humored and generous hosts. Okay. Ah, stranger to our hall. How do you like Jupiles, young man? Have you seen the Emperor's Folly yet? The wall he hopes to build on the east side of town to prevent Clissador from attacking? It was foolish from the start. He long ago exhausted Jupiles' supply of stone when he built Ventrax. Since then we've relied on illegal trade with the mainland for building stone. But he was foolish to believe he could ever have purchased enough stone to complete a wall the size he envisioned. I told him that myself. Now this silly superstition about a darkness plague has most of the sailors in Alonia too afraid to sail, leaving us almost without any trade, and leaving the Emperor with an unfinished wall. Ha! Clesador never had the guts to invade, I say. I find myself a bit short of money right now, and I certainly need it to keep myself in ale and to pay my doctor's bills. I had to get a few toes cut off the other day, nothing too serious, haha. I keep losing bits and pieces of myself. Here's an offer for you. I have a cutlass here that my brother Lyfeld gave to me. My brother is a traveler and poet, although people who can read tell me he is awful. He acquired this cutlass in Galraven from a sailor who claims to have gotten it from a fishman. I know it sounds crazy, but I never know my brother to lie, even though his name is Lyfeld. I hate to part with this, the last thing I have to remember my brother by, but I'll let you have it for 35 gold pieces. Do you want it? Not really. If you change your mind, I'll probably be here. I need the money badly. Welcome to Jupiles. You looked worried and unhappy. I looked that way when I came here from Ragmar. Let me guess. Differences with your father forced you to leave home? I knew it. It happens to all young men. My father wanted me to become a tailor like himself. Could you imagine that? I ran away and came here. And what do you do here? I make garments, but I'm my own boss. How did you come to this island, good fellow? I was once a member of your father's army. I was among the guards sent here to escort several tax collectors seeking to extend Balito's control over Jupiles. We expected to find a small, disorganized settlement. Ha! Lyter caught us by surprise with a cadre of the best fighters and archers I've ever seen. They easily captured those of us they didn't kill in battle. Then Lyter did a thing that forever earned him my loyalty and allegiance. Instead of executing us or throwing us in a dungeon, he offered us a choice of returning to Alonia or remaining here as citizens of Jupiles. Well, the little I had seen of Jupiles convinced me that it was better than living anywhere in Alonia, so I stayed here and joined the Emperor's army. Seems like Kuvey Lyter is a pretty damn nice stand-up fellow. Nope, don't want to talk to you. Only one guy left. There we go. I know you. You are Clesador's son. I am Kathis, a son of Farinor, and I know too well what your father's rule has meant to my people. How dare you show your face in the last place in the realm, not suffering from your father's misrule? Well, he's not happy with me. But it is what it is. Now, let's see what this guy says. I know who you are. I've seen you when you were younger. You are the Prince of Alonia. I can't believe the son of Clesador would set foot on Jupiles. I've heard many stories of this strange island, but my father had always forbidden me to journey here. What can you tell me about the man who rules here? Kuvey Lyter is a great man. He has built a utopia a few miles from Alonia and has held your father at bay all these years. My father refused to speak much about Kuvey Lyter, except to say that he wished him dead. Do you know the cause of their feud? There are many rumors, but only those close to the Emperor really know. Kuvey and your father were once friends until your father sent him into exile on this island. It is said that they both loved your mother and that Clesador exiled Kuvey to remove him as a rival. Others claim that Clesador was wary of Kuvey's considerable political talents and feared him as a potential enemy at court. Interesting. Only people who liked my father in all of Alonia was the rich who were getting money for destroying towns. Really, I had a terrible father in this game. He was horrible. Provenly horrible. Yeah, I just made a word up. Provenly. You can quote me on that. I've got a deal for you. Listen well. The only thing I can say against Jupiles is that it is an expensive place to live. At the moment I find myself, shall we say, impoverished. I have items for sale that will interest a spellcaster. For instance, this lodestone. Not worth much to most people, but used properly, a key component to several powerful spells, including a disarm spell. You can have it for 5 gold pieces. Will you buy it? Sure, why not? Bless you. I hope this proves of use to you. And what we got in here? Nothing. And you. If you seek information on Kuvey Lyter, you had best proceed to Ventrax. Take care, however. Though he is an eccentric, the Grand Emperor is also a skilled swordsman. And now we'll try you. Welcome to Jupiles, young man. Have you registered with Manalisto yet? She's no doubt in the castle with the Emperor. Grand Exalted Royal Honored Emperor Lyter encourages all expressions of creativity and individualism, but his tense relationship with Balitog necessitates careful screening of those who would visit or live here. A lot of big words in that goes. And what we got in here? Kuvey Lyter is a man of 1,000 talents. He leads, he builds, he designs, he writes, he inspires. Alonia could use a man like Lyter on the throne. Bitch, that's my seat. Back off it. And I already talked to you. And we're almost ready to go to Castle Ventrax. I think we're ready now, actually. Talk to this guy. Hello, young prince, or shall I say, young king. You're surprised I know you. The Emperor is immediately informed when any unexpected visitors come ashore. He is waiting for you inside. This castle. I don't understand it. Why is it like this? This domicile was designed by Kuvey Lyter himself. He then oversaw its construction. It may seem strange, but I assure you it is quite logical. We lacked both the raw materials and the labor to construct a complete castle. Not being rich, Kuvey could not afford to buy the materials, even if someone existed who would sell him the needed quantities. The point is that Kuvey is not royalty. His very title is meant to ridicule the concept of monarchy. He neither needs nor wants to live like a king. As he points out, castles are awful places to live. They are drafty and cold. They stink and are impossible to keep clean. This home is much more practical, and this impressive facade provides the defense that a full castle would. So you see, it makes perfect sense. So if you look at it, that's the inside of the castle right there. That's the home. Everything else is just a stone square to protect the inside. What I don't understand is, what about an aerial attack? Wouldn't that shit just get destroyed? But anyway. Alright, and on this note, we're going to end the Let's Play right here. And on the next one, we are going to be going inside Castle Ventrax to see Kuvey Lyter. See if he really is the great leader that everyone in this town says he is. Until then, signing off. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. See y'all later.